Donald Trump's running mate, JD Vance, has defended comments made against the Democrats. The Republican vice presidential candidate called Democratic politicians a bunch of childless cat ladies with miserable lives. Speaking on the Megyn Kelly show, Vance says he has nothing to be sorry for.
Becoming a father, becoming a mother, I really do think it changes your perspective in a pretty profound way. This is something, of course, we've recognized for hundreds of years in this country, that human civilization has always recognized. But there's a deeper point here, Megyn. It's not a criticism of people who don't have children. I explicitly said in my remarks, despite the fact the media has lied about this, that this is not about criticizing people who, for various reasons, didn't have kids. This is about criticizing the Democratic Party for becoming anti-family and anti-child.
Experts believe his comments have harmed the approval rating.
Many American people have women who don't have children and fathers who don't have children. They're living a wonderful life. And people resent that when he comes up with a comment like that. I think it was very thoughtless of him to do that. Actually, really hurting them, I'm sure, in the polls. So we have to look at the traditional families versus the way families are evolving now as well. And when people don't want to have children, just want to have a productive life, that should be fine. It is fine. But many Americans feel that, and he doesn't feel that. So that's why JD Vance's negative ratings right now are -6%, which is lower than any other vice presidential candidate.
Will America have its first female president in November? Momentum is certainly going that way for Kamala Harris. Joining me is Small Business Women Australia founder and CEO Amanda Rose. We'll get to the presidential election shortly, but let's talk about JD Vance because as he tried to explain himself and say that the media lied, it looked to me like someone who was digging
a hole,
a bigger hole, wasn't he?
He was. The thing is, we want someone, and look, both sides are guilty of this. They pick their people. How about having someone who represents everyone? Whether it's a nuclear family, single, whatever it is that you are, when you have a leader, you want that leader to be able to convince you and make you feel like whoever you are in your life and your choices, you're represented. Because the second you don't feel represented, you're going to run away from that party. So I think he's a poor decision for Trump to have as a VP. I think he should have actually picked a female, personally, because, you know, these days we have, just like he's offended, JD Vance has offended so many women, a lot of women that are in powerful positions or that want to see someone they can aspire to.
Wouldn't you just say sorry? Well, look, if you made that comment...
Look, he's a man, Tim. He's a politician. He's never going to say sorry. No, the reality is...
It's a bit like Arthur Fonzarelli so in the Happy Days show.
I feel like he's picked a particular group, and I think he's, like, scared to advocate for others. I actually don't trust him. I think that he's... potentially got ulterior motives in that role. I mean, look, Trump doesn't do very well picking his VP like last time. His last VP actually turned on him. So I don't think he's very good at those decisions. But, yeah, what happened to just kindness, compassion and understanding? Saying, you know how many women out there can't have children? Do you know how many women want to, and so they'd be offended by this? Women that choose not to and shouldn't have to feel that they've done something wrong. How about we're here for all of you and we represent all women, all people, regardless of your choice.
Absolutely.
Is that so hard?
No, it shouldn't be.
That's right.
Absolutely.
But neither side represent everyone. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, that's politics too, isn't it? Yeah. But what an amazing... what a week can do in in politics anywhere. But look, Kamala Harris has come in this enormous momentum.
Yep. So people need to realise, well, firstly, if you look at her behaviour prior to this, it's concerning. Laughing at serious issues. We're talking about someone that potentially has the ability to call for a war in the future, right? And this person kind of laughs and mocks all these serious issues. And Biden, Kamala, whoever it is, they're just the front person for a particular party in the decisions they make. So as I always say, go to the policy, regardless of whether you like someone or dislike someone, whether you like her, like Trump or dislike either of them, forget that. Look at what that particular party has voted on. And like we're just saying with Vance, do they represent you? Does that party represent your family, your business, your career and where you're headed? Because if they don't, regardless of the person they've put at the front, you need to vote against them.
Yeah, that laughing and giggling, look, to be honest, from my perspective, having done this for 30-odd years, can just be caught on camera. But, look, if you look at her, she's a former Attorney General of California, pretty serious human, and now a $2.50
I know.
candidate.
I know. I think Trump's got a bit of competition.
Yeah. And what about the idea, like being such an advocate for women, obviously in business and politics?
Yep.
The whole idea of having a female as US president.
Well, the thing is, I believe the right person for the job, and if she's the right person for the job and the Democrats believe that, then they've put her up. That's great. However, I would like to see examples of tough situations that she's been in, how she's handled it. Because like you said, all we've seen on TV is her laughing on saying some crazy things and making people very concerned, kind of like with Biden, even with Trump, when he says some things on TV. Go,
even with Trump?
Yeah, but I'm saying they've all said some really unhinged things, and you think, well, hang on a minute, do I feel confident that you're going to lead a nation and potentially take a nation to war?
Anthony Albanese, back home, about to announce a cabinet reshuffle.
He is, and let's face it, there's an election coming up. This is all strategic. He's replacing the old, putting in the new. They would have done some polling to find out who's popular and who's not. That's how politics works. Both sides do it. And obviously he had his conference and he's backflipped now on Israel. First he was, understand with Albanese, he supported Palestine in 1999, then he supported Israel when he became elected. And because of the backlash and the Muslim vote, they're panicking, and now they've backflipped and supporting a two-state solution. And I thought, isn't it interesting that Fatima had to leave the Labor Party because they didn't want to push that, and then all of a sudden they were losing votes and now they're pushing it. All political.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting to see if there'll be an early election called. Most experts are saying if interest rates rise in August, there won't be an election. If they stay stable, it could be. We'll do it again next week.
Done.
Amanda Rose here.